Peace, family. So we back with another one. Today what I want to do is I want to talk to my chosen ones about how you should not allow everyone the same access to you. Don't let everyone be able to access your energy and vibration and frequency at the same levels. This was like a fun one that I was processing because I was thinking about like giving my mini adult responsibilities, which I know she would make a million mistakes trying to take on adult decision making and processing. And when I was just putting those things together, it had me thinking about the people around me and where I'm at this chapter and journey in my life. And I realized that I have a handful of people around me that I do like to engage with, even though they aren't on the same vibration or frequency as me. They aren't even close, meaning like they aren't putting the work in to try to raise their vibration. They're more so of day to day. They just want to get through the day. They want to get by the day. And that's huge. You definitely want to be present for the day, but you also want to be able to have some insight towards the future or the next day and the following day. That's why a lot of the systematic structure that they teach us from school to work, kind of prepare yourself for the next working day, prepare yourself for the next school day. With those words being emphasized, it's another way of saying keep one foot in front of the other one. Long as you keep one foot in front of the other one, you're continuously walking and moving at a decent pace. But I also realize it's a lot of people, not a lot, but a handful of people I do like to mingle with. Some I like to engage with in physical real time. Some of them I just like to engage with over the phone. Some people we just kind of, it's like a mixed pot. Sometimes we engage in person, sometimes it's over the phone. But what I was concluding with just analyzing myself, because I literally use me as a test tool. Every day for life for me, I want to figure out a way to not just raise my vibration and frequency, but I want to be able to come up with different answers, solutions, or methods as far as how to face these obstacles so I can share my knowledge and wisdom and be able to pass it over or pass it down, because we're all partaking in this same physical realm right now. So what I experience here in this part of the world, we got other people on the other side of the world that's experiencing the same thing. So when it comes to that, it's a lot of people that want to be placed in certain parts of our spiritual house, certain places in your life. I would never assign my daughter the task of cooking for the house or for the family, because I know that's something that she hasn't made it to that level yet. Not saying that I was going to, but these are just examples. There's people around that want to have more validity. They want to have more access to me. And it's kind of like when you move up in the rankings in the spiritual system, you have to do certain things in order to level up. It's like a job. If you want to raise, you have to do certain things in order for you to be recognized by the supervisors, the boss, in order to get that raise. A lot of people out here that's around us today, they aren't willing to step up and do the things needed for them to get the raise at the job. They just keep coming back to the supervisor saying, hey, I'm here, can I get a raise? Hey, I'm here. Every day they come into work. Hey, I'm here, can I get a raise? Hey, I'm here, can I get a raise? Hey, I'm here, can I get a raise? That's very nice of you to do this, to ask. It's good that you would like to get the raise, But at the same time, what are you doing for the supervisor to want to give you that raise, to level you up in that field that you are in? This outside world is such a huge reflection of us, and I always get baffled by why people don't compare and contrast their own real life and experiences with a lot of this real life that we out here engaging with. It's funny to me. It's funny or not funny, I just make that statement because I can. How, when it comes to finding partners and spouses, I don't really like saying dating because dating is trash to me. Like, dating is just trash to me, so I don't even really like to use that terminology. It's just a way of being demonic and being able to do whatever you want to at the same time. Like, when you're dating, the women don't have the full title to do what their title entitles them to do. And it would be the same thing as the men. They don't have the full authority to be able to lead or protect in the same manner when it's just dating. But a lot of us out here are looking for, even if you aren't looking, you still have the door open for the right being coming across your pathway. But in order for you to do that, you have to engage with people as well at the same time too. And a lot of people feel as though, hey, I like you, you like me, we've been around each other a little bit. They just feel as though they deserve this kind of access to you, meaning that they want to question you about where you're going, what you're doing. They feel entitled to say something to you if they feel some certain type of way, if you may be engaging with other people or doing other things. And it's like, you haven't worked yourself into that position to have that access to me for me to feel obligated to express these other things to you. If you was working your ass off to do these things, to get that raise, to get moved up into that space, it would make 1,000% sense. But this is not what people are doing these days. I'm seeing male associates hanging out with females, and once they engage with them in the sexual manner, they feel as though they have some ownership to them, which most men do to a degree, but when you disciplined enough, you understand that you don't. And that was something that you shouldn't have been engaging with, but most of us in the Western culture have already been programmed to engage in that way of life already. So we are reprogramming and adding more discipline tactics in there so that way we can not just worried about indulging and pleasing this physical vessel, because we already understand the spiritual ties that come with. A lot of people say, oh, sex is just sex. Most people, if you aren't having sex with 1,000 people, you remember every person that you've allowed in your body or that you went into. You remember every person you allowed in your body and that you went into. So you keep adding new different vibrations and frequencies into your memory bank and into your vessel. Male and female. The ones who tend to lose memory are the ones who tend to be doing way too much on a demonic frequency, and they had drunken passed out nights or blackout drunks and they don't remember, or they just had so many engagements that they just don't remember everybody that they engaged with. But a lot of people are mingling around each other and they feel as though they spend a lot of time, like you automatically become a thing, and that's what it is when there hasn't been anything established there. So now this being is trying to gain extra access to this being, even though they haven't stepped up. And then you got this being trying to gain extra access to this being, and they haven't stepped up. What I've been having to do recently is put different things in place when I have beings around me that want more access. Let's just say, for instance, like I got somebody that I'm communicating, engaging with on that level, and I was thinking about maybe moving them up so they can have more access to me. Once I put you in that space of maybe you may get more access to me. There's a whole nother criteria you have to follow in order to get put in that place. For me, I'm a spiritual warrior. I do this publicly. Any females that want to get in that space have to understand I'm a spiritual warrior and I do this publicly. And since I don't do the goofy shit, that means that I'm always going to receive a lot of pushback. So if I'm already facing a lot of pushback from the system and I already got to deal with a lot of rejection, it would make sense if my partner came with some kind of motivation, you know, a more stronger love for the creator. With a stronger love for the creator, it allows two people who follow creator and source to mold themselves together better. Like a clay sculpture, you know. We got plenty of things that can get molded together, but clay sculptures are pretty artistic. You know, I love the concept of them. We started doing a lot of mud and clay molding. Mud and clay molding, that's natural. It's from the soil, it's from earth, it's from this realm, you know. And people will tend to get in their feelings and feel offended, even though they don't understand what it means to actually form a bond with somebody that's actually productive and moving forward. A lot of people are just forming bonds and you're just allowing people this extra access to you, and it's putting more weight on your chest, it's putting more weight on your spirit. It's just adding a ton of friction that you don't need, because in your inner space, you know that this person, this being isn't doing 1, 2, 3, 4 for you to give them more access. But because you understand that you have been giving them a little bit more time and energy, you feel as though, okay, maybe they may be obligated to a little bit more, but they are not. They are not. It's just like if you have friends who showed you that they aren't loyal or there haven't been any tests put on the table. You don't have to share or give them all kind of access to you when you haven't hit any real obstacles to show that this person deserves more access to you. We just giving it away freely, and when you give it away freely, you understand that you're opening yourself up for these people to have access to your vulnerability parts. Once they have access to your vulnerability parts, I don't know why I'm so tongue-tied. Maybe because I just got up not too long ago. That's fucking crazy. It happens. We don't do no edits. It is what it is. Y'all laugh, Joe. I don't give a damn, you know. I've been putting myself out here for a long time. It's kind of like what one of my subscribers said, and I wish I would have remembered their name because I definitely would have gave them a shout out. But they was like, it's funny how TrakBeatz have been on YouTube for 10 years and only getting 800 to 900 views in a day, but then you got people who've been on YouTube for less than a year doing the same kind of similar content, and they're getting 100K views a day. Clearly, the ones who are getting that extra push have to be working with the system in some manner. Some people just get the work in, they do it. You know, if it's that organic, it's hard for me to believe that you doing the same thing I'm doing and then you end up with more momentum and less time with way less videos and content, basically emphasizing the same thing that a lot of us other ones who've been solid in this walk of life have been doing for a while now. That was kind of irrelevant, but it was just a point that I want to make, that it's already enough battles out here going on. We already facing enough obstacles, so the more people we are allowing access to us, the more it's at the detriment of our own health and our own life. I've been through enough situations in my 39 years to understand that most people will take advantage or abuse that position, or they will seem entitled to that position. That entitlement shit don't work over here with me, because none of these people have been walking this way of life with me. So anytime somebody approaches me with some kind of entitlement, the warrior side wants to show itself. Not that, oh, I cannot control my, I don't even have to be angry to still be in battle mode. You know, that's what a lot of people get mixed up. They think, oh, well, you're angry. You shouldn't be angry. You should learn how to speak soft. You should talk like this. You shouldn't have any passion or emotions running through your body. Everybody should just flow like this. That's cool and all, but when you look out here in nature in real life, that's not how it's set up. You're gonna need some warriors out here. Just so happens to be that I understand that I'm a warrior and I'm comfortable in that. That's what I love to do. I was doing that when I was a young little one, and I allowed people to get too much access to me, and they, you know, they had this thing of saying, when I was younger, it wasn't tamed. I can own that one. Full accountability here. It was not tamed when I was younger, and it was being directed in the wrong way. It had the wrong vibration around it. Great intentions, but it had the wrong vibration around it, meaning I was putting this warrior spirit to the wrong events, to the wrong people, to the wrong situations and locations and things of that nature. Now it's more direct. It's way less pushback because a lot of people, when I tend to, I had somebody the other day, you know, they was having a hard time talking about, oh, yo, well, you know, they feel like going back to some old habits. You know, it's a million things I could have said and put on the table, but the first thing I emphasized was you have to work on building your connection with the Creator stronger. You have to have a stronger relationship with the Creator. If you don't have a stronger relationship with Creator, then most of these people will not be moving out of the spaces that they are in. They are going to continue to stay in those spaces. And a lot of them don't want to put the work in to move themselves out of those spaces, which that's not our problem to get over there and pull them out of them spaces. If they don't want to put the damn work in, then they can stay their ass over there where the hell they at. Doesn't matter if it's friends, families, or spouses. You don't have to be an asshole, a dick, or be mean to them or belittle them, but you just don't share as much information. You don't give them as much insight. You can still give them all the love that you want to give, but you don't put your fruits down on the table for them. I can love you and still not share my fruits with you. I want my fruit, especially if you're not going to use it properly. If you're just going to eat, if I gave you an apple and you only took 2 bites out of it and you keep throwing it out every time I give you an apple, I'm growing these apples myself. I put in the time and work to plant them, to water them, you know, to nurture them, and then I take one out my garden and I give it to you. Take one bite and throw that shit away. No, I don't want to give you no more apples. I didn't buy these at the store. I actually put the time, effort, work, and energy into these, and now they're just being wasted from me giving them to certain beings. No, they won't get that kind of access anymore. I can mingle with you and hang out with you. I can show you, yo, yeah, I got some apples over here. I've been working in my garden for a good portion of time. You know what I mean? But when they ask, can they have one? I'm like, how about I give you a seed and let you start your own garden? If you start your garden and you put enough time and energy and start nurturing it and putting and talking and breathing life into it along with nature, then yeah, I can, look, I see you've been putting work in over there. Your apple tree is starting to grow. It's starting to boom. Look, if you just need an apple to eat on right now while yours is growing, I got you. Here, matter of fact, take 2, 3 apples because I see how hard you're working to get your apple tree together. We just have to keep these things in mind that we can't give people the same access to us. I don't give this male associate the same access that I give this female that is trying to work themselves into my space. You know, these people won't have the same access. The same way I don't give, let's say, I don't give my mom the same access to me as I give my daughter the same access to me. My daughter has more access to me than my mom. My daughter has been here less time, but she puts in way more work, way more time and energy, way more efforts, way more care, love, empathy, all these things that she does. So she's gonna have more access. keep these things in mind. Everybody don't deserve our access, and we aren't obligated to explain or express ourselves to everyone about every little thing that bothers them, or anything that we're doing in our walk of life that they see us doing, and they choose not to take the steps to level themselves up or to do the things they need to do to make the team or to gain access. But I ain't want to run it up too long. Y'all see the beautiful mountains out here? We always somewhere vibing. You gotta get out in nature. We face enough battles as it is that I can't process always running around after every dollar bill. Like, fuck it. I wasn't born with $1 million, so I already understand $1 million come with a lot of demonic energy. You don't see a bunch of godly beings with millions of dollars. If it was, it would be way more different things happening out here. It's just that simple. If we had godly beings with millions of dollars, they would be focused on working on their communities, not going to other countries where it's ineffective to their living environment. That never made sense to me. This being got millions of dollars and they're giving to a charity. Why would you give to a charity when you can actually go to real life families and help them and assist them? Charities is a corporation. Giving the charity is just a tax write-off. They're gonna compensate that money right back to their pockets. You know, be mindful of all these things that they do. You don't just get $1 million by moving in a godly vibration. You don't just get $1 million moving in. Yeah, you can be well off. You can get some money and be able to take care of you and your family. We're not saying that you can't do those things. But when you playing that money game, it's levels to the shift. There's levels to the shift. You will not just go from 50K to 300, 400K without having to do something demonic. It's not just gonna fall in your lap. It's not just gonna fall in your hand. They're not just gonna say, oh, you've been doing a great job. I see how hard you're working and you deserve this. There's a small 1% chance, maybe even less than 1% chance the creator put somebody in that space as far as for this society right now. Anything is possible. I'm not saying that it's not possible. Anything is possible with the creator. The creator could drop us all in a great position right now if the creator decided to. But if I was the creator, I'd be doing the same thing. Y'all not fighting hard enough, so I'm not gonna show y'all how present and how powerful I am because you aren't putting in the work. You're more concerned with these physical consequences instead of these spiritual consequences. Everybody gotta go, nobody gets to stay. Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.